Hey guys, KRS Props here again. Today's video I'm going to show you the answer to a question that I get asked a lot. So, a lot of people ask me how I do lighting for props and armor, helmets, things like that. Because I get nice diffused lights through a lot of my stuff. For example, my portal gun. You might have seen a video of it before. Now, I'm going to answer that in two sections. It's going to be a really quick tutorial for you guys because it's a really simple process. So a lot of people first ask me where I get my LEDs. Now, I know LEDs can be a little bit daunting for people because they know they have to put resistors in, but they don't know how to calculate that, they don't know what they need for that. So, what I do is I just go into eBay, start typing in some stuff, and basically what I do is I search for pre-wired LEDs and I include the voltage I'm looking for. So usually I go for 9 or 12 volt LEDs, and then the color, obviously. They are sold in packets of sort of 20 to 50. They're really cheap, and they all come soldered to the correct resistors that you need already. So these are 2 packs of blue 3mm LEDs that I have. So I've taken one out here. You probably won't be able to see this. Let me just adjust the focus. There you go. So you can see here this little bump in the line here. That's actually the resistor that's wired into this into the thing already. So all of these already have the resistors. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So basically I'm ready to start soldering or connecting these LEDs together straight away. Much easier than buying the individual LEDs, wiring them up with resistors yourself, calculating it all, and then now starting to connect the LEDs together. First I strip the wires of the LEDs I want to use. I then twist all of the wires, exposed wires together. I do this quite tightly so that they're very close together and they all have a good amount of contact. I connect all the LEDs together in parallel. This means that I connect all the positive wires to all of the other positive wires and all the negatives to negatives. In LEDs you can see which wires are positive and negative as they're denoted by the color of the wire. So you can see here that I'm connecting all of the red to the red and all of the black to the black. Wiring LEDs in parallel just means that all of the LEDs will stay the same brightness as if there were only one LED connected to the battery. Unfortunately though, this means that the battery will run down much faster than if you only had a few LEDs or one LED attached to the battery. So once you have all the LEDs you want all twisted together and ready to go, I don't bother with soldering because soldering is a very time-consuming as well as sometimes dangerous thing to do. Also, it means that you have to wrap your joints with electrical tape to insulate it as well. Instead, what I do is I bypass all of that really annoying and time-consuming stuff, and instead I do something that both insulates and keeps all of the wires together. I use a hot glue gun, and using that I just cover the entire joint all the way around and a little bit up on the wires as well, just to make sure it's got a nice bond and it covers all of the exposed wire. This will fully insulate as well as give a very strong joint to your LEDs, and it means that you don't have to worry about soldering and things like that. It's good to test it out once you've finished gluing everything together as well, just to make sure everything's working okay. So let's see, is this one? No, this way around. And there you go. All of your LEDs wired in parallel, all the same brightness. So now, how do you diffuse these LEDs? Well, one thing I do that you may have heard me say before is a material I use for my visors. Now, I buy these visor sun hat things that have this tinted black plastic, so I can get them really cheap. You might have to shop around to get them really cheap yourself, but if you can find the right place, it's a really good way to do cheap visors. And I also use the material for diffusing LEDs. So once you remove the actual tinted plastic, you get this. You get quite a big sheet of plastic that's pre-tinted, and you can just start cutting shapes out of it, whatever. So essentially what I do is I cut a little square out of this, or a shape out of this, whatever shape I want the section where it's going to be lit to be. The great thing about this stuff is that not only is it cheap, but the only thing you're going to see on the outside is a sort of reflective black sort of plastic, and so it's not really obvious where all your diffused lights are going to be. So I've cut out this random shape, and essentially what I do to help diffuse the light, as you can see, you can kind of see through it. It becomes less see-through the closer you are to the back, as you can see there. What I do is I sand the back with a quite rough grit sandpaper, so maybe 180 to 240, until it's almost white on the back. But no one's going to be able to see that because all they're going to see is this outside surface that you have left perfectly smooth. The sanding on the back just helps diffuse the light a little bit more. If you find that it doesn't diffuse it as much as you want, you can always just smear a little bit of paper glue on this and slap it onto a piece of paper. Go one step further, you can always buy some light diffusing film online. So this piece I've now sanded the back and I've put paper on it, but as you can see, it looks exactly the same from the front. This should help diffuse the light a lot. Not only does that help diffuse it more, but also I attach the LEDs to the back of this panel using hot glue. So I actually sort of completely cover the back area and the LED with hot glue, and the hot glue itself also helps diffuse the light a lot. So in the end you come out with quite a smooth looking lit section. To also stop the light from bleeding back into the helmet, and also to increase the brightness of the LEDs, I then spray paint color on top of the hot glue that's over the LED. This I use silver spray paint for this because the silver will help reflect the light back in and keep all of it contained, which will actually increase the brightness of your LEDs slightly as well. Black works as well, but silver works a little bit better for upping the brightness. This is an example of the lighting you can achieve with using this method. So I hope this quick video today taught you guys how I do all of my lights. Obviously I've tried to create a technique that is cheap and quick for myself. I know there's a lot of other methods to diffuse light, so feel free to do that, but I hope you can take the techniques at least from how I put all my LEDs together in parallel and where I get them, and I hope you can use those tips to help you with your own projects. So I'll see you guys next time.